you heard, this is my last sermon here, at least for a while. So I thought I wanted to use the opportunity to say a kind of a goodbye. And it's kind of a curious goodbye because we haven't been acquainted all that long. I tried to do the math, and preaching here once a month, which is 9 sermons, not counting one in February where the snow got us. And so if you've been coming here every week, and some of you do, well, it's just wonderful. At most, we've only spent a few hours together, less than a day. But if our time together has been less than a day, cumulatively, it's been a good day, hasn't it? There's always something a little special about Sunday mornings. So maybe we can consider today one of those times when you say goodbye to someone that you haven't met for very long, but they have made an impression on you, like an acquaintance you've come to know on holiday, or a person you had a long chat with at a picnic somewhere. And when it's time to go, you think, oh, I only just met this person, but I'm going to miss them. And that's how I feel about you, and all of you, in fact. I only see you an hour or two a month, but it's always a good hour or two that we spend together, and I feel like I've gotten to know you a little bit through chatting after the service, through the joys and concerns we share, through just being in the same room together for an hour. And I imagine you feel the same way because I spend a lot of the time blathering on, so you probably have gotten to know me. And I tried to think about what I might possibly say in a goodbye sermon, and it brought me to the tradition of blessing. The idea of blessing goes way back. Its origins lie deeper in human history than Christianity or Judaism or even Hinduism. Blessing is the idea that we human beings can offer something to each other on behalf of God, perhaps. One might also say on behalf of all that is greater than any one of us, this collective mystery of our shared being in the cosmos. So whatever our theology, we bless each other in this world. And what I mean by that is simply that we can offer each other something profound by our presence, by our mere authentic presence. You sit next to a cat sits next to you, you reach out and you pet the cat, and the cat purrs. And in that moment you offer something to the cat, and the cat offers something to you. But this is no mere marketplace of transaction of happiness. You and the cat are giving to each other out of your authentic being. You can't measure on a scale what we give to one another. The poet Hafiz writes, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. The sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens to a love like that. It lights the whole sky. The sun provides its presence to the earth, and the earth provides its presence to the sun. They say to each other, just by their presence, here we are. And so it is with blessing. We heard in the reading by how when Kathleen McTeague announced in the grocery store that she was mourning her father, the young man bagging the groceries said, I bet you feel really sad about that. And he was right, of course. And a blessing was conferred, simply by him naming the truth out loud. Kathleen heard him, and hearing him name her truth, even in the checkout line, brought her this deep moment's grace. Now I wish I could speak as eloquently as that young man about how you have been a blessing to me. It's hard for me to put the words to it. What I do know is that Sundays here are special for me. As some of you have pointed out, I drive a long way to come here. I come from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and on the way down, it's nice. I think about life for a little bit, and I have some time to be nervous about the sermon, which I almost always am. And usually, I'm sort of praying that I have something clever to say, some wisdom to offer you all when I get down here. And who knows, maybe even something true. And along the way, I'll pass the Delaware River, which is just a glorious river. I've had the fortune to see some great rivers. I've seen the Mississippi and the Mersey and the Thames and the Seine. And the Delaware River is one of the most gorgeous, stunning rivers I've ever seen. Surely one of the most beautiful rivers in the world. And so every time in the season, I have this moment of awe to be next to this river. And then I get here. And usually it's Joan and Warren who are the first ones here, setting up and making coffee, bless them. And we chat a little bit about life, the universe, and everything. And then you all show up, one by one, family by family, some who I've seen before and some who I'm meeting for the first time. And when I'm not too busy with the service preparation, I try to remember to greet people as they come in, either there or outside, or sometimes I'll wander down. And it gives me something to do while I'm anxiously waiting for the coffee to percolate. So I have my first cup of coffee in the morning. And if it's a nice day, you have this beautiful, nice day, and then I see you come in one by one. And it's one of my favorite parts of our day together. I just like seeing your faces in the morning and thinking, oh, I know them, I've seen this person, or I haven't seen this person, I got to meet this person. It's the wonderful feeling standing outside and surrounded by beauty of the nature and also seeing the beauty of you. And by the time we light our chalice in the morning, I no longer am all that worried about having something clever to say or even something true, because I sort of feel like the sermon has effectively already been preached. The message has already been delivered just by our greeting one another. And that message is this: it's good to be here. It's good to be here. Alice Blair Wesley, a colleague of mine, gave the best explanation of preaching I ever heard. She wrote, "The preacher's one task in worship is to lift up that which is worthy of our devoted love, so that we can see it in our imagination, feel the charm of its appeal, rejoice in its excellence, recognize and think through intellectually what it asks of us, and resolve faithfully to act accordingly." To lift up, she writes, that which is worthy of our devoted love. And that's really what I try to do with my preaching and what we try to do with our service, I think, to say, pay attention to this. This is worthy of our devoted love. Our devoted love, which is such a gift to offer to anything. And I think that the good news we preach here is that devoted love can be devoted to this life we're living now, this imperfect, blessed, sometimes broken life. It has to, doesn't it? There are some religions that preach that our life is not very good, but we should stick around to see what's coming next, that there's got to be something better than this. And I can see how there's a value in that sentiment. That we should, when going through hard times, just bear through it, something better is coming. But that's not really our good news, is it? Our good news is about this life. We don't know for sure about the afterlife, but we do know this life, the one we're living right now, is something lovely and to be cherished. Hard sometimes, yes, but that this life is worthy of our devoted life. It's a simple message, but it's an important one. And we proclaim this message on a Sunday, on any Sunday, not just in the sermon, but in the way we are together. Because we are all together in this life, so we might as well demonstrate it in our service and be together in love. As the psalmist writes in Psalm 133, how good, how pleasant it is when sisters and brothers live together in peace. And we get a taste of that peace here on a Sunday. After the service, sharing a snack and a coffee, it's just every day chatting to each other. That's all it is. And yet at the same time, it's a vision of peace. A vision that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, that this peace that's greater than any one of us is near enough for us to touch. By gathering together in peace, we proclaim that this life is worthy of our devoted love. And that's not to say that life is always comfortable or happy. Far from it. And we learn that in our service together too. During joys and concerns, we hear about people's struggles. We learn how life is hard. We learn how life is brutally unfair. And the only fairness in it is that we all will suffer. And all of us, sooner or later, will die. It's hard to be overly naive about life when you attend a congregation that tells the truth. And so we are called to do. And yet for all that, isn't there something wonderful about life? Even when life is hard and you just walk outside and you hear the chirping of one bird, isn't there something that calls our soul to say yes to this life? So before I offer my blessing, here's my advice. And ain't it terrible? People always feel obliged to insert advice into blessings, but I guess that's life. Here's my advice to you, you lovely people. Continue to nourish that part of you that offers blessing to the world. Continue to nourish that part of you that offers blessing to the world. There is some part of you that thinks that it is wonderful to be here, that is bursting with gratitude, and looks upon all of those around you as dear friends and blessed saints. There is a part of you that sees a tree in bloom and is moved to ecstasy, part of you that wants to yell, or maybe you're not the yelling type, but in your own way, yell, yes! What a tree! I am alive today and I get to be with that tree. And it's beautiful. Now that part of you is not all of you. It's not all of any of us, to be sure. There is a part of us that is critical, cynical, and that's an important part of us too. I don't mean to disparage it. If we didn't have that part, we would give all our money to the first stranger we meet at the bus station, and, well, I don't know what would happen then. But the part of us that offers blessing to the world is not to be neglected. Just about everything good that has come out of the history of organized religion has come from that place of gratitude, this place that offers blessing to the world. And the more critical, judgmental part of us hasn't been so great for the history of organized religion. So let us continue to try to reach that place where we see the good in one another, where we offer the world a blessing. Be so entranced with the world that it fosters in you a commitment to make it even better. When you reach that place of blessing, it's not always necessarily a place of comfort. Sometimes it's a place that spurs us to do more for this hurting world, to see the blessing in the world and to make it real, and when there's so much evidence to the contrary. Let love be your guide. And so I offer you this blessing. You are a lovely congregation, a blessing to the world. Individually, you are each miracles, totally unique and lovely expressions of what it means to be a human being. Each day you are alive to yourself, you will be a gift to those around you. So may you enjoy this life we get to live. May the rising of the sun and its setting never fail to quicken your pulse. May the Delaware River nourish your heart. May you have moments in the day when you are doing the laundry maybe, or filling out a spreadsheet, or staring at the wall, when the simple, everyday glory of life takes your thoughts and gives you your breath again. And when you gather on a Sunday, may it be a blessing that sisters and brothers and everyone gather together in peace. May there always be a sense of excitement in the chance to learn something new about life's meaning, and in learning again how good it is to be a part of something, to be with a grand diversity of others, united in being. May your dearest friend be the one you haven't met yet, so that the stranger coming through your door is greeted by a truly open heart. May your heart find its fullness out in the world, working for justice, loving people, seeing the heart's own reflection in more and more people, until our self-image is simply love. Health and happiness to all of you. I'd wish it every moment if I could. And when sorrow comes, as it does, may sorrow bring wisdom as the rains bring growth. May your friends be there, especially at the hardest times. May your discomfort, your emotional pain, your sadness bring you to a new place, until you look back and even learn to see that discomfort as an old friend. May you always be growing a little bit in love and wisdom, even when you'd rather not. I know those times come for me. When death returns you to the mystery, may you know that we will all keep a piece of you with us in our own lives as you return to that peace and mystery. And while you are living, may each day present something to bring you back to love. The way a bird sings in the field, the light in someone's eyes, an old joke remembered, a chance to do something you love. Whatever it is, may each day present something to bring you back to that love that connects us to the glory of being alive and to each other. It has been a blessing to be in your lives a little while, friends, and I'll be taking a bit of you with me on my travels. I hope that's all right. Until we meet again, many blessings. Amen. Now let's sing together, shall we? Hymn number 131. This is probably my favorite. Love will guide us. But you guys guide us.